Shalom.
Alright, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Yakakodash. And then we say double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who are doing well. Salutation to the brothers all over the world preaching the truth, man. Waking up our people and then cursing out two-thirds because they wouldn't get right with the Lord. And to the aqua that listen to them, we say shalom. And to the brothers that may look like the other nation, but they are all our brothers, we say shalom. Now, this is our, how we only do it annual because we have a camp together like this, a video for a very long time. Although we are one or two brothers not here, but you know, nevertheless, right? So this is our official, I usually do official camp video, and for the year, and we thank Yahweh Shem Yahushai before Passover come. You understand? And hey, we want to get into something serious, conducted by Priest Kahan and Brother Rashalam. So you know, as we just flowing as the spirit moves. Well,
alright, so shalom again. Alright. The video lesson that we had into here. Alright, the name of it is Understanding the Financial System and its ties to the MOTB. Alright? Because you see, you have to understand where the MOTB is concerned, because the MOTB, when you go to Revelation 13:16, it goes into something of commerce. Anybody can get a word from that? Because we'll be going into some words too. Let me try and get it as quick as possible. When I call for it, we get it quick as possible, Baba, for sure. Commerce.
Right, here. Commerce. The activity of
do not disturb.
Yeah.
No, not that.
No, but we don't need the Wi-Fi, so I just taking it off for now.
Yeah, but I'm coming on, you know, just do 2 1 times. I couldn't forget that.
No, that's it.
That's the other stuff. That's not small thing. Alright? No. Alright, Salakia about that. Alright, so getting with the will come on.
right, commerce, the activity of buying and selling, especially on a large scale.
Especially right on a large scale, alright? So when they deal with Revelation 13 and 16, alright, that no man might buy or sell, it literally goes into commerce. Alright? So the first scripture I will start with is Micah 2:1. Baba Kasha, anybody? Micah 2:1.
This is about Micah chapter 2 verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
Alright, go ahead.
When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in their power to it, because it is in the power of their hand.
Alright, so this is the situation here. Woe to them that devise iniquity upon their beds. Alright. Now, first instance, I might think the RFI, the TC, to the H, to the I, to the P. But you have to really go to the source. What is the source? What is the source? You know, the beginning of this whole thing, which leaded up to the RFID. Where's the source?
Foundation.
Correct?
Yeah.
The foundation. Alright? Because nothing will just happen just so. A house will just build just so.
Really?
Alright? A house will just build just so. No structure come about just so magically.
Well, not even, I'm gonna just say, not even the truth.
Right.
Just come about just so it has had a foundation was laid.
Right.
For this truth to be, you understand? Prospering the way it's prospering now.
Correct is right. Alright, so the foundation, right, we are to get to understand is the US Federal Reserve, and to go even further, your central banks. Because remember, is an evil thing that these people, you know what the scripture arena focus.
Woe to them that devise iniquity and put evil upon their beds.
Woe to them that, with iniquity and evil upon their beds. This pretty. Alright? So, the thing is, first the beginning, before we take, what is real money? Alright? But I see I don't know, what is real money? Which is what? Gold and silver. And also livestock. Alright?
Because when you go back to that here, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
When you go back into the scripture, Abraham and all these brothers and them of old, they were blessed with what livestock.
And
Right.
gold and silver.
The Bible says it was what 1,000 cattle upon 1,000 hills, something like that. You know the scripture. So the Lord always had them with livestock and when a man had cattle and these things like that and sheep and goats and all them things, he was considered a very rich man. But go ahead.
Alright? So,
Even the Job too, when the Lord did send to send Job, and he was strong basically until it was over. The Lord blessed him twice over, and that was richer than
Yeah, you never seen that like no paper,
paper money.
paper money. We call it again.
before the man now, it's polymer now. Before it was cotton.
Yeah.
Right? Now it's polymer. Alright? So, the thing is, you have to understand something which is infrastructure. Alright? And these people set up an infrastructure from the beginning. The foundation of their infrastructure into where we are right now, where the financial system is concerned, is by the way of the banking system. Alright? The banking system, which is actually a whole Ponzi scheme, brother Shalom. Alright? This banking system is a whole Ponzi scheme.
The foundation of the whole system really is to make all the citizens, of the country into borrowers, right? Into borrowers. What the scripture says? Scripture says, remember it's out there, Proverbs 22:7. The rich you let over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. So the main point is to make everybody a debtor, right? To make everybody owe into the system.
That's right.
Right? That is the basis and the foundation of our whole system was made out of. Right? Here you gotta talk about being a Ponzi scheme. Right? But what they really do is that when the treasury request money, Federal Reserve basically just print paper money. Which have no value. But we talk about fiat means something just fall into being. Right? They say, hey, that's like how what the Lord said in the truth, good, they say let there be light. They say let there be value in the money. Right? These devils and them. Alright?
Before when it was they had to change the goal, the money basically was like a receipt. You understand? For them to go in and give up the goal, and everybody came in with the goal after a while. The stuff even use the goal to trade the thing. That was fiat come along to give me like the money back by nothing.
Yeah.
Wasn't back by nothing anymore.
They call it Federal
Federal
Reserve
Reserve
notes.
It was just money back by nothing, and people started getting aware of this, and they started to realize, wait, this money have nothing back by it. You understand? A lot of countries that we are aware of this. That's why it's a Ponzi scheme.
Mhm.
That's why they go in a Ponzi scheme and all.
Yeah, that's part of a Ponzi scheme. Because when they go down to that's how it goes. That is cycle is that hey, the treasury, the American treasury, request money from your Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve will bring that money and lend it to the treasury.
Done.
Right? And for what? To pay debts. So then the treasury owe the Federal Reserve. Which is nothing about the Federal Reserve, it's federal.
Federal.
Right? That's our line
Done.
and our roots.
Done. Because we have to understand, first thing first, how did the Federal Reserve come into play? Because coming into the 1700s, 1800s, where these countries, a lot of these countries, they start to move away from monarchy rule, all right, and start to go by a rule by presidents and what have you. So the ones that we used to call them as money changers or something like that so before, all right. When these men, these money changers was the one that was influential in changing the whole ruling structure within the nations and bring it into a political structure. And in exchange for that, what they would do, because they would put up the puppets to the respective puppets to rule and what have you. And what they would do is obvious. If you are a ruler of a country, you will need financing, money to finance your country, to govern your country, things like that. So what? The elites, by the way of these men here, a list of names here. The elites, by these men, all right, which is actually the 13 banking families or the banking dynasties. You have the Baring, all right, the Hambros, the Lazard, the Erlanger, Warburg, all right, Schroeder, Seligman, Spears, Maribor, Mallet, Fold, most importantly, the Rothschilds, the Morgans, the Oppenheimers, and the DuPonts. All right? These men is the elite, are the elites. These men, these families are the creme de la creme.
Yeah, in other words, all the money that you spending and you say, I collect my pay on a Friday, so I'm a rich man. And when you spend it out and it goes back out, it goes right back to where it started. It goes back to these guys.
Right? These guys' pockets. All right?
Yeah. So in other words, you don't owe, you don't owe shit. Right? So give me a scripture, somebody's give me Proverbs 28 and it is when the wicked is in authority. Give me that scripture.
29.
Everybody knows that.
Proverbs 29 and 2.
Yeah. Somebody give me that
Let's
scripture.
bring that from on, then I will.
Because it comes to once you serve.
Somebody just bring that just for edification. Yeah, go ahead.
Look up Luke in the 29 and verse 2. It's when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
So we're not in authority, that is by it's pressure for we. When you go to Psalms 84, 87, you see, behold, the Lord of the gates of Zion. I think you may hear me in the video, you quoted that Psalm for, I'll tell you why. The Lord of the gate of Zion, more than all Jacob dwelling. However, all where Jacob dwelling, you catch in the ass. Let me be real, I'm talking it raw. Wherever Jacob dwelling in the world, the Lord didn't hallow it for Jacob. It was only slavery, poverty, and misery. But he hallowed Zion for Jacob. So it ties with this scripture. Read.
See, but when the wicked bear rule,
Like the wicked bear rule right now. And what?
the people, when the
And
wicked,
well, so you see, when the wicked bear rule, the people and the whole earth is in mourning. Not just the Israelites, even the nation is in mourning. Because this man is totally Satan, he's the devil.
Well, alright. So good. So now, we gotta understand, first thing first, the Federal Reserve as we say, is not federal at all. And the Federal Reserve, it is totally against the implementation, I'm not use it correctly, the implementation of the Federal Reserve, it goes against the Constitution of the United States of America. All right? If the so-called founding fathers of America was alive at the time when the Federal Reserve come into play, it would have been our next civil war again. All right? Because it goes against the Constitution. But the Constitution is just a piece of paper, especially in this time now, with the things that the executive orders that are being passed right now. It shows that the Constitution was just a whole illusion. But anyhow, this is the thing here. Who started up the Federal Reserve? You have to go back to the main men, the Rothschilds. Even the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds. They were the ones that put the Federal Reserve into play. Alright? Yeah. Right? They were the ones to bring out the Federal Reserve, and they used a man by the name of Colonel, but he was not a military man, but that is the title they are given him to him, right? A man by the name of Colonel Edward Mandell House. Alright? And he was the man to help usher in this Federal Reserve system. And the president the man that he used was Woodrow Wilson, right? A former US president, right? And he was like Woodrow Wilson advisor and what have you. The two of them were like two peas in a pod, as he would put it. And late December 1913 is when the Federal Reserve come into play. Now the thing is with the Federal Reserve, they give you the illusion that the government has control over it. No. Alright? The government has no control over the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve board members do not have to answer at all to the government, sorry. Alright? And the board, along with the president of the Federal Reserve, they serve a term up to 14 years. Alright? Yeah, go ahead and then when they don't read, yes, I'll go and bring out
So what Priest Khan is actually saying that whole thing is really a facade to put over the people, to blind the people who see the truth.
There's something about Satan's angel exposed, page 181, the Federal Reserve System. Now what about the Federal Reserve System? It is neither federal nor reserve. Louis T. McFadden, who for more than 10 years served as chairman of the Banking and Currency Committee, is reported to have said on the floor of the House of Representatives, "We have in this country one of the most corrupt institutions the world has ever known." I refer to the Federal Reserve Board and the Federal Reserve Banks. They are not government institutions. They are private monopolies.
They are what?
Private monopolies.
Yes, private monopoly, because it is owned by who? It is not owned by the government. It is not owned by the people per se. It is owned by the Rothschilds.
Could you please just read that little part of my people to hear that?
Alright, I'll continue. When you go back, this is what McFadden said in the House of Representatives. He said, "We have in this country one of the most corrupt institutions the world has ever known."
Well,
I refer to the Federal Reserve Board and the Federal Reserve Banks.
and the Federal Reserve Bank,
They are not government institutions. They are private monopolies which prey upon the people of these United States for the benefit of themselves and their foreign customers.
Because you see, the thing is, it's not just only the United States, it's the whole world, because all your central banks, it is owned by the Rothschilds. All the central banks. Alright? all the central banks. Don't get it twisted. That's why we continually tell you guys, it makes no sense to go in and say putting your hand in that blood on so-called election day to say you're exercising a franchise. Because these people that control the money, they control the so-called government. Well,
So that just shows you that these are the people who then actually bring out the mark at the beast.
done.
Because when you deal with
In your face.
when you deal with digital currency, all digital currency would have been programmed to these men,
Through these men.
these banks and families.
Right, and that is what I'm coming to. That is what I'm coming to in a little bit. Yeah, I'm on that
Right,
thing.
and that's why it came back to the foundation being fiat.
Right.
Because digital currency is a fiat currency. Right, so they're building on the same foundation which is set up.
And that is really a problem because they see it in your face. If you can see that they actually put it in front of your face first. They put the digital currency in your face because fiat is like basically money back by nothing. And it's the same thing when it becomes digitalized because if the internet was to shut down or because you had to use computer database and the internet to run this
Right.
system.
Wait, watch whatever system they have in store here. Before I continue.
Shut down and the lights for all the companies want to shut down. We all the investment, all the money we want. We all everything that we want with that. You
That's right.
understand? Because the money wait away one time in your hand, paper, have none of that. So you're gonna have to run to the government when they come out with this market.
And now when people they say they show them money in the streets.
Right.
So my thinking about next thing that incident or happen with the whole blackout or something like that.
It was a test run. It was a test run.
But we,
now studying now
it's not like I don't want to cut you off, but yeah.
Yeah, but
So to add, think about it, the simple fiat currency that you can hold in your hand, they're trying to track that, as I recorded that, how much money you're making, how you getting the money and all these
well,
things.
that is by your payroll, your payroll system, and how you're working and whatnot.
Yeah.
But gradual is up, but we will get to that just now.
Like a monetary system,
Yeah.
monetary
Move right, go ahead.
Today's Federal Reserve Board does not outwardly seem to be a group of world criminals, but rather a group of responsible bankers attempting to manage the money of the United States and around the world too
And around the world, go
at a
ahead.
desperate time. Right? So much power, however, exists here that there is always the potential for the wrong group to gain control of the board.
Let me just say something to this point now. Hey. So my friends, the little thing you're seeing with Russia and Ukraine, all of that is to contribute to this market beast coming out, this system coming out. See, nothing going out of time with the Lord.
Done.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, because that's the reason why, as Putin said, he would like to be a part of NATO too. But guess what? The powers that be, same guys that the brother now can't now read out there, right? They're not going to allow that because why? They need a opposition, right? They need a opposition
They need a movement.
to crash the system, to
Yeah.
cause this great collapse,
And
will
it's like-
collapse.
So I get to bring all
Yeah, all
all
that chaos.
chaos.
Done.
You understand what
That's
we're doing?
eventually what they want to do.
Alright? So
Yeah.
now,
Well, you better be watch me. If you never pray before in your life, you never seek the Lord in your life, now is the
now
time
is
to
the
do it.
time.
Yeah.
For we are, Jeremiah 30 and 7, this is the time of Jacob trouble. It is the time of Jacob trouble.
Done.
But we give thanks that the Lord said, but he shall be saved out of it.
Done.
Done.
Alright? So, this is the thing here now. So, when the Federal Reserve System came into play, going to the Bretton Woods. Alright? When the Federal System Reserve came into play, alright, the thing is, it was still the dollar, it was still backed by gold. Don't get it twisted. The dollar was still backed by gold. Anybody have a dollar note on them? Pull it out. It could be a 20 or $5, anything. 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 Alright. So everybody pull out a note. Everybody pull out a note. Everybody pull out a note.
Done.
Now you keep your note. I don't want it. You keep it on.
The central bank.
No, not central. Many matters central bank. Watch this. No, nobody to go through all of that. The notes back then, I'm using this as an example. Alright? No, I don't want to show it to the camera. Anybody, whoever viewing it, when they see the example that I'm bringing forth, they will follow
Why this
suit.
deep, boy, you know how deep this thing is.
Right? That is right. So that is why I name it understanding the financial system and its ties to the MOTB. Alright? So now, when the Federal Reserve came into play, your money, you see where it mark up oh yes, it's that self Kayala. I think Kayala mentioned it. It's still in accordance with the Central Bank Act. Alright, correct, correct is right. Back then, on the US note, it was marked what? It was marked redeemable in gold, where you could take whether it be a $1 note, a $5 note, wherever, it will get its equivalent in gold when you go back to the Federal Reserve Bank. Alright? But in the 30s, what they did, they stopped. What they stopped what the Russians and them did, they made it. And I think we could speak a little bit on this too. I think you know about this. In the 30s, I think that was before or after the Great Depression, one out of the two, I can't remember. But where they stopped, where they made it illegal for anybody to have gold on their person, whether it be in a safe or what. So what people did, that is why was somebody get Proverbs, somebody get from Proverbs, I was telling Proverbs 21:6 and verse 7. What they did, what people are also, so what they do, they make it illegal and you're liable to serve a jail sentence. Where now it is illegal for you to keep gold on a person, so everybody had to rush and carry the gold to the Federal Reserve and get dollars in exchange. Alright, and that is from day where you start now to permanently use fiat the dollar currency. Alright? Paper money. Alright, so read the
This is the book of Proverbs chapter 26, verse 27.
No,
21.
21.
Or 21.
6.
Go ahead. The getting of treasures by a lying tongue.
They get the what?
The getting of treasures by a lying tongue
Mhm.
is a vanity tossed to and fro
Go ahead.
of them that seek death.
Of them that seek death. Because this is the thing. They gain the riches of the people. They gain riches by the people by a lying tongue. Alright? First fooling them with this dollar. Alright? And telling them, all right, again, you can come and bring it back and get exchange for gold. And then now, what they do? They cut off that gold standard with the people itself, with the everyday citizen itself. Right? Because they know that the real money is gold.
That's right.
Go ahead now, go ahead.
Ecclesiastes 7 and 12. They say, for wisdom is a defense and money is a defense. So what they did, they take away your defense. Right there.
Done.
Right?
Done.
One time they take away your defense and make it illegal. Right? But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom given life to them that have it. But get the point is, money is a defense. Right? The Lord gives gold and silver. The Lord says the gold and silver is his.
Done.
Right? So at the end of the day, these devils, what they do, they take away all your defense, and you're supposed to be defenseless. You left up to their whim and fancy. Whatever they give you.
Thank you. Thank you. Alright, so read verse 7 now.
The robbery of the wicked shall destroy them because they refuse to do judgment.
Right? And it is going to be destroyed. Alright, because hey, that is why these nations is going to come up against America pretty soon. Because they don't get to say that the fed up are the treachery by the hands of these American Edomites, these Babylonian Edomites.
Right.
Alright?
Look at like Libya, right? With this guy who take out Gaddafi, because he was changing the back in the dollar
By gold diners.
Gold standard. Same.
Yeah, what happened? You don't go after the it's any group or so much country America thing because a long time there was fed up using that fiat currency. Long time they wasn't get rid of the money because they wasn't backed by nothing. And they didn't know, but the scripture says everything is after a point in time. They didn't know. They already see the prophecy and everything that they do with it. They get rid of it. They don't want to use
They want to use of it, right?
Because when you go into the Bretton Woods system, when you want to go into
When
show that America, which was what he was using primarily as a major corporation, had an unfair advantage over all the other countries in the world.
So go into
the Bretton Woods agreement and system. You say, what was the Bretton Woods agreement and system? The Bretton Woods agreement was negotiated in July 1944 by delegates from 44 countries at the United Nations Monetary and Financial Conference held in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire. Right? Under the Bretton Woods system, gold was the basis for the US dollar and other currencies were pegged to the US dollar's value.
Because why? Because at least still at that time, the US dollar was backed by the gold. So they had a sense of confidence in doing business. Alright? But the US dollar. Correct is right, Kaya. That's what correct is right, Kaya. Because the real money was still involved, it was still at play. But go ahead, Kaya.
You know, see, I think there was one name that they were calling, they were the leaders over because they came out with the agreement, they were actually leaders over. So their money, anywhere they go, their money could have go anywhere, their money, through their money being backed by the gold, they could have used their money anyway. And some people would actually want to use it, but they were printing so much bills, people were starting to think they are way to doubt that they had so much gold.
Read it.
So,
beautiful boy, yeah,
beautiful was the basis of the US dollar and other currencies were pegged to the US dollar's value. The Bretton Woods system effectively came to an end in the early 1970s when President Richard Nixon announced that the US would no longer exchange gold for US currency.
Why? Why did Nixon did that? Going back to what Yakal just said. Because what was going on, you have to understand this. I'm going to go even deeper to back him up now. This is what was going on. You see, in the 50s, 60s, even going to the 70s, they had something called what? The Vietnam War. Right? You had the Vietnam War. No. In order for you to wage such a war like that, you have to have money. Alright? Besides the Vietnam War, it had things like the moon mission and all these things, alright? So-called moon landing. Alright? All these things cost billions upon billions upon billions of dollars. So now, this was the thing. These people was printing money out of thin air, continually printing money out of thin air to finance these things, especially the Vietnam War. Now, what was going on, because this was the deal. This was the deal with the Bretton Woods. This was the deal with the Bretton Woods. The US keep the dollar as the world reserve currency, which is backed by gold. All the countries that make the deal is going to be using US dollars to do all the transactions and what have you.
In other words, it creates a demand for US dollars.
Right. Right.
The value go up automatically.
Right.
See?
Right. So now, in exchange, in exchange, when you're ready, all you have to do is give back the US dollars and you get it back in value by gold.
Which is a commodity.
Right. Good. So you see why in the street you have to have some knowledge of economics also, not just only the structures. All right. So now, what was going on is that Nixon, because as he was saying, as he rightfully said, the countries was in deal with the US, they noticed they're getting a great influx of US dollars. But they started catch like, I wonder, I get all these dollars at ease. I wonder if these people have all this gold for when I ready to get back all these dollars, to get back my just return in gold. And the thing is, these countries was exchanging to get back the gold as much as possible. And Nixon, and not really Nixon, you know, the Rothschilds and them. That Nixon was the puppet. It's the Rothschilds and them in shocking, hey, cut that.
And that was all for what? For them to increase in the riches.
Right?
Because at the end of the day, gold and silver, right, is a control. Right? A control for spending, right? And also a control on how fast it can grow. Because there's only so much gold and so much silver they can have. Right? You can't spend more, you can't spend what you do have.
Can.
Right? So if you only have 100 million in gold, you only spend your economy based on that.
Can.
You know, in order to overcome that, and they bring more money into the system, the wicked devised plot, the Ponzi scheme,
Can.
right? They took it off the gold standard, so they took off the control, so therefore what? They had the control, they could print how much they want.
How much you want,
Right? You could do whatever you want, right? So you can finance how much ever you want to finance, and guess what? You can use usury too, right? You can charge it interest, because it wasn't just principal when you're lending, right? It charges interest on everything. That's why they can never pay back for the Civil War and all these other wars. It has no way. If you look at the debt clock of America, right? You see, it's hundreds of trillions
of dollars in debt. Trillions.
Each, if you even divide by civilians.
But the scripture, if you like that, but if you not talk, I don't want to cut you.
Each civilian own so much, how much
About 60,000.
Yes.
About from the time you're born, that is the reason why. That is the reason why when you're born, they give you a birth certificate and your number and whatnot, so forth. From the time you're born, every citizen is born, and not only in the US, even in Trinidad here. You are born into debt. Hence the reason why when you work, at the end of your work period, monthly or fortnightly, you get what? You get taxed. That is the reason why they have the tax system for you to pay back that debt.
And more tax is coming in.
Right?
They start a tax here.
Right.
Let me tell you something, please, before Piscan was saying something in the past, well, it still stands today. Remember Piscan was telling me about house tax and land tax and the tax that come out, right? Now as we see what taking place here, and with that little war, you know how things go, how the whole thing was skyrocket and things like that. Well, the government will handle the choice but to tax it because very hard. Very hard. And this is where the MOT will come into place now. If you want to get it easy, but you will have to follow this system. With all this system, it ain't going to work on.
Universal basic income. That's what they want to come with. So everybody will get a little stipend of $2,000 every month. Value. Everybody.
Revelation 18, right? And I want to get, I could go into it, but I don't want to harass
So I'll go on back up on everything in the scripture. It is very born in death. Because that when I say the book 3 and 8, it says we are yet this day in our captivity.
Correct, that's right.
Born in captivity.
This is that beautiful.
It says where thou hast scattered us for a reproach.
For what?
A reproach at any point there, and a curse. You know, so it's not the whole, I mean, morning, because a whole in you, as Brother Piece said, hey, it is the answer they will kill and people mourning, you know, because they bring out the unrighteous decrees, which is the laws and how they have the banking system and all these things to have us low, because I go back into Deuteronomy and say, oh, we shall be the tail and they shall be the head. You see?
Yeah. Deuteronomy 48, we say, therefore shall you soothe them and you run to them in one town.
What about he shall lend to thee and lend to them?
You see? And you want to borrow a servant to lend. So make one of us into borrowers.
And hey, and you show us, you actually, I wish I could show us through scriptures.
Yeah.
So you refer to the servants and prophets. You understand? So whether prophet it say for a reproach and a curse and to be subject to payments. Like bill, property tax, was
everything.
you know, and just recently we went to buy net for the boot. And then no fat again, no fat again. So this show how drill really getting back. You know, it's according to all the iniquities of your fathers which depart from the house of Hashem, right?
Alright, so good. I think because I want to. Go ahead,
okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
The book of Job 15 and 35, it said they conceive mischief.
They what?
They conceive mischief.
Yeah, because all what they're doing from since back then, especially to where it leading to here now, it is totally mischief. That's why they say they sleep. Scripture say what they sleep. They sleep not least they do mischief.
I know small a rich man, he can't sleep at night, a poor man, he get excessive sleep now. So that was them, that's how them is BGGV, because they don't know, they all go back and say my car, they always want to do something, they're restless.
I was our advisors around them.
Yeah.
Jake's too, was on with Jake's too.
People can say this man, so like him, the scripture say this man is never satisfied. The scripture say this man is never satisfied.
So what
It said, and bring forth vanity, and their belly prepared deceit.
Alright, and because all what they're bringing forth is going to come to naught. Alright, and it's going to deceive all the things all into taking this MOTB and what have you.
Yeah, all you niggas are with you saying, I will take that now. I was smarter than that now. And things like that now. But when the bank, sometimes when the bank tell us come out and say, only whole of the system is cash down for a little short minute, we try to rectify it. Even people are stupid. Oh God, what I'm telling you, this, that, and the other. So you can imagine when they come up and tell you, well, we don't know, but we have a new system in place.
When they make everybody rush to the bank, that they change the old notes. Everybody rush to the bank. That's a testing process.
The waters as it is.
Because now you know they when the back of the beats, because you see it and put it that everything when you actually want to go and you see it clearly now. That's why we did a meeting division plain, because you see everything clearly now in the spirit is going to show you clearly everything leading up to the back of the beast. So you think the brothers to bring it out. You understand? But if you see it for yourself and understand, hey, they already test you with the notes in it. You understand? The Lord see.
What about the antidote and all?
The
That's what I'm going to
all like that test.
That's what I want
Right?
So it's a gradualism.
Exactly.
Gradually bring it in. See how fast it set that deadline. You say, alright, plastic note, December. Watch us see. You give somebody a paper note now. You see if they accept it now.
I thought you rubbish.
Right?
Man,
So you see that?
I just drive little taxi so I can tell you.
Yeah. So you see what they doing, right? That have no value. The same way this plastic money say, hey, and I'm taking that value
Before
again.
they mark up $5, $10.
The same
The same thing.
Yeah.
Money deadline and all.
Yeah. Correct. 1 point on.
I go in the market to the bride, and I walk around and ask them to change with them.
Listen, change that rule. So I just show you when Esau come in there with his man and the beast. Right? It's
Right?
everybody will run fit because he really flexing the control. You understand? There's not control the control that the people really want. You understand? But he doesn't have control of the place in that kind of way. But that rebellious people and you want to make everybody docile. But it is you have no choice but to do this.
Seemingly.
Exactly.
I think there are something to know.
Yeah,
That's it.
now it's not now that something no was talking about really, right? What's simple as when trying to go over the big one to be on. What's simple as going over the social media, the Facebook, the WhatsApp, or on there. Right?
Yeah.
So when the jigs is going like they need it. So we're gonna happen when something that they really need. Like they get like certain things simple like you get things to eat, you get things to drink. How the gun do? When Karen go on, the whole place back out.
And I know what you gotta say is on point because when you gotta look at it, he saw build up all these things and give us all these conveniences and benefits, right? Like internet, like electricity. Right? Long time our ancestors never know about that, right? But now
Why didn't you that we had 24 uncle and our 16 aunties?
yeah.
No, because shame by him, like come on, he would get shame by
Jake never had no time with this.
time for no front. And when I see a chick, I was going up Cedrus, and every time I see a chick soon.
Hey,
Everybody see this soon.
you know.
So like if they're not one, everybody does soon.
Can. After yesterday, I watched going to the ATM. Everybody going to the ATM. Every man on the phone, so with people going to the ATM. You know the man on the ATM don't go out already about 2 minutes and nobody see. The man is on the phone like this. Yeah, it's become a party. So now when this is suddenly taken away now, it creates a certain level of fear. Right? So Jakes don't know how to react.
You don't know what the next move.
Yes, a fish out of water.
Well, ever seen the movie Ready Player One?
Yeah.
That is thing.
Yeah.
Everybody living on that
Future is like a future reality because and that will be the villain.
and you might already need
Never
it.
done.
Really let will come out of that mobile because when I watch it like I was saying I think after the injury, I think I put the more substance. I say what the enter who sleep and let us sleep. But the let actually go out, you can say we see the vision playing. You know, being circumcised what's going on. So we see gradually the MOPB is coming.
That was so that yeah, but that was attended the same movie called Get Out.
Yeah. Oh God.
Because if you don't get out now, you will take your mind out of Babylon, you know, with it.
We shall not sleep.
Yeah.
Let me get the scriptures here. Therefore, 1 and 10, therefore, Habakkuk 2, and start from verse 5, right? The whole of Habakkuk 2 and 5, and, right?
And the book of Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 10.
Right.
And it shall come to pass that in that day, said the Lord, that there shall be the noise of a crying from the fish gate, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills.
Alright, but that is actually speaking about the stock market. Right, so it's speaking about the stock market. Because see, but you have to understand this when the gold standard, the Nixon cut away that gold standard off of that dollar. The whole world currency end up turning into complete fiat. From the yuan to the yen, everything turns to straight fiat. So now, with that now, because what you have to understand is that that going into the stock market where, especially where debt is concerned, where because the US dollar, which is the world currency, the world and reserve currency is a debt-based deficit. Going to the word deficit for now. No, I don't think so. Right? Right? So, right? Is a debt base because what's going on is that you see the US they had to borrow money from the Federal Reserve, right, at a high interest rate. Listen carefully to what I'm saying, at a very high interest rate, They have, when they borrow that money. Right? But here's the thing, in order for them to pay back that money, they have to borrow more money.
So nothing debts.
You never pay off.
You can never pay
off.
off.
Okay, so like, yeah, you know who we now see him right now is China.
I know, man. You serious or not? I know answer that.
Because-
Me and another
talking about the-
oh, this guy, he could sleep.
It's like China just just watch ESO tactics and just using it, but using it more skilled.
Can't.
Because that's why they are on top right now.
Right? Good?
And right now, when you ask how now show again, even generally speaking, China right now holding the goods, right? Which will have a worldwide impact on the global economy by that major famine. Major famine. So when China holding the goods heavily, and we know how much economy China does feed right around the world. Right? So what will happen? Prices will go way through the roof. Hyperinflation. Right? Which means what?
Chinese thing is will be negotiated say. We buy and cheaper.
Made in China. Everything made in China. You check it out. You look in the back. Everything in China.
I say it the original.
Original Chinese made. But the point is at the end of the day, the economies in the Caribbean, especially in the Americas, so we heavily depend on goods from China, goods and services as well. So what's going to happen now? One of his sister, Jake, when I say a sister, but Jake Eve, had a dream too, you know. The brother put up on the GMS Watchman, and she see herself with the MOTV on her forehead. And when she run outside now, she see everybody panicking, looking for food, hungry. Right? So they're going to have a state where millions and millions of people are going to die of famine. Right? So the scriptures go live. Scriptures go live.
This way, again, it goes back to this war that they have with Russia and Ukraine. All that is being together. All that is what will bring this whole thing together.